So welcome to Metaphysical Astrology Class 7 of 8. We're going to go through the Luminaries and Zodiac in detail. We're just going to finish up with a few there. And then we're going to get into Sub-Harmonics, music, and its relationship to the circle of fifths. And we're going to talk to you about music fact, not theory. And although I got to use their babble words, which may sound confusing if you've never taken music theory before, just bear with it and just look at the simplicity of, just remember 7, white and black. Okay, the 7 colors of the rainbow, those type things. All right. So we'll start off with Luminaries and Zodiac in detail. Continue. Can I have a volunteer to read?
Yeah, I can read.
Carlos? Okay, so when I get to those two, this is the only one we're doing today of these two. A quote from Ken Wheeler's book, Monistic Metaphysics of the Sakya Disciples, the Tathagata, such that forms, feelings, perceptions, impulses, and mental machinations of the mind are temporal, unreal, arise and pass, and are of the realm of phenomena, Akashic record, and cannot be construed as what is everlasting, best, real, and most dear of the true self, and therefore must not be identified with the atan, which is the soul, as such. So again, you're not the meat suit, right? This is why Rahu is known as to be the luminary that eclipses / eats the material sun. We talked about that, and I got a slide next about that in yesterday's Metaphysics in the Bible, to remind us that we are living as spirits in a material world. If you are materialistic, then know that there will be rebirths, resets, from a lack of wisdom and knowledge on the path to the aether, heaven, absolute, or one love. With revelation, we realize that personal eclipses, aka dizzy, passing out, seizures, is very apparent in medical astrology. We will go through real life examples later on when we get into the medical astrology portion. Now, notice the inset of Isis and Nephthys. We'll get to that. I'm not going to show that just yet. So I'm going to get you to read this one first, Carlos.
All right, Moon's north node or head of the dragon snake represents future and destiny or your karmic attachments, also known as Rahu. This represents how one handles materialism and the knowing that the true abundance is from the tree of knowledge. This abundance is always yours, Arahant. Rahu is the yang, Anatman, not the true self, the psychophysical you. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. And then this is the south node.
The moon's south node represents the karmic knowledge of the head eating the tail. Ketu is the yin, Atman. It was Ataman before? Was it Atman or Ataman?
Atman.
Atman? Okay. Atman, metaphysical you. So don't be materialistic and keep chasing eating your tail. Learn this wisdom, knowledge, and use the luminaries as your guides.
Thank you. So when I had said here, notice the inset of Isis to the right, standing at the head.
Right.
And Juno at the left, at the feet. Right. Now they think these are mummies. These aren't mummies. This is you in embodiment right now. Get ready for many more eclipses of the humankind as we approach the Phoenix rising, peaking in mid-April 22 and then in mid-April 2023. All kinds of people are still getting dizzy. Kathy was just talking to a friend who said there's people like they're getting vertigo like crazy. And remember the picture we had in May 15th, 2019 of people looking dizzy, right? So we already knew that this was coming. It's in prophecy. So the head and the tail of the snake. So from yesterday's meeting in the Metaphysics in the Bible, we talked about the canopic shrine, the 4 corners, the 4 watchers, the 4 royal stars. Neith is the goddess of the ecliptic. The ecliptic is this line that I keep showing you guys where the luminaries that are on one side and on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So Rahu, the head of the snake, the solar disk is Ra. Get it? Yeah. The sun. And then the moon, the Egyptians call the south node Khonsu. So this is great. This is great information. So when when you start seeing these images, you'll be able to think, oh, north node, south node, they cause eclipses. Now, in the Egyptian walls, you got Set spearing the snake Apep. Look who's there. The sun, the materialistic one.
Right.
He's trying to stop the ecliptic from giving you an eclipse, a personal phoenix rising. This may be like what you don't want to do, not too sure. Remember, this is research, but so according to the Inuit cosmology, Neith was the creator of the world and the mother of the sun Ra. This made her the mother of all gods and connected her with Nun. I'm not sure that any of that is truth, but the whole point is, however, she was also credited for creating Apep, which is the ecliptic, the great serpent and sworn enemy of Ra. Why is it a sworn enemy? Well, doesn't the ecliptic, the south and north node, take the sun away? Yes, it eclipses the sun. It eclipses. That's why they say Rahu and Ketu, splitting the waters of Noon. And then you can see, I showed you guys that picture where you can see that line right across the whole sky. And then at that point in time, the ecliptic were there at the ascendant and the descendant line. It's so beautiful. So Ra is at war with the snake, which is the ecliptic of the north node and south node, which eclipses the sun, which eclipses people, gives them seizures, makes them pass out. This is what they're trying to show us. They're trying to show us how we overcome that. We have to master these vibrations. So we're going to briefly start talking into the music section now. But first, we're going to start with subharmonics of a sign. Note, it is important to use subharmonics of a sign. As can be seen in the example to the right, the sun is in Scorpio, right? With a subharmonic of Libra. In other words, if you take the 12 zodiac signs and you split them now into a further 12, that's the incommensurate nature, that's subharmonics, it's the Russian dolls, right? These guys, it's the trees used to be bigger, Marion. The bodies used to be bigger, but everything is relative in scale. These all still look the same. I can make that the next one just as big as the last one. I can make that one just as big as that one. I mean, I can come down to the littlest one and make it as big as the rest. This makes a very important distinction that just saying, I'm a Scorpio, well, you can't just say that because it's where is it at in Scorpio? What subharmonic, what key, what scale is being played on the musical instrument? The sun is in the subharmonic of Libra, which has a different quality than the sun in the subharmonic of Sagittarius, for example, right? So Scorpio, Libra. If you remember, the cusp of Virgo, Libra has Mercury, Ceres in the scales of Libra, awaiting a talk with Spirit Mother, right? Remember this in the Dendra Zodiac? So the sun is in Scorpio, which means procreation, temptations, but in the house, in the subharmonic of Libra, in other words, hey, you got it, your heart is light as a feather takes place now. So there is that vibration on top of vibration, right? Just like there's carrier vibrations that carry the music that we get and we tune in with our radios, same thing. So, you know, and this is the weighing of the heart ceremony, Mercury, Ceres, there's you, Spica, right? And then there's the mother sitting on the throne. Let's talk goddess in training. So it's important, subharmonics. And it's important because we know of the incommensurate nature of the Plato's divided line. Everything is relative, but we're bigger and we're smaller. That's why we find bigger bones. And we had the mountains, which used to be trees. It's a beautiful thing. So this is the incommensurate nature of the cosmos as proven by Plato's divided line, the Russian dolls, 12 chromatics note in an octave, Akashic past life regressions, subharmonics all lead to that. Because in reality, we could split one of these down into 12 and go to another Akashic, but we'd have to be really, really, really good with our astrology and our GPS, which is all possible now, yes. Right? It's all possible now. Okay, so subharmonics of a sign. So we're going to get into music fact. The etymology of music is harmonic order. So there's a word subharmonic, right? Harmony, harmon. Okay, I don't know if you guys ever seen this scene on Bugs Bunny where he gets the opera guy to turn all kinds of different colors, holding that note forever.
Yes.
Okay, so
Brilliant.
yes, it is brilliant. So here is a key. Okay, this is a whole octave, but there's only 7 white notes. So we're going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now you can see this key would start over again. All right.
Right.
In music, it starts from C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C starts all over again. So the frequency doubles from there to there. So if this was 200, you can make it whatever you want. There's no standard because everybody's vibration is different. So this was 200, this would be 400 hertz, doubling.
Right.
Okay. So now this is, we're going to get into this, but this is do, re, mi, fa, sol. It's sol, not so, a needle pulling thread. It's not SO, but they did that ditty just so we can remember these ditties so we can go back to it. Another breadcrumb so we can piece it together. La, and it's not T, it's C, S-I, and then back to do. So the magic 7, the root of music. There is 7 white keys, 5 black keys, which gives you your 12. So 1, 2, 3, I got that in a different slide. So here's where I'm gonna try not to lose you. All right, because they talk about chords, I'm gonna play a C, G, F, what's on the circle of fifths that we will show you. Music vibrations at every fifth. This is where sound, vibration, harmonics, music, organs, chakras, frequencies presents itself to you. We won't spend much time on this topic. That's in the book, but we go a little deeper in this section. Just know that it is there. Everything in this visible universe has frequency / harmonics. This is the incommensurate nature of the universe. So I'm going to come over here. This is an accordion bellows, the 120 bass accordion. So I'm grabbing just these right here because the rest are just end up being repeats except for the F sharp and G sharp, which are special and we'll talk about later. So the key of C has no black notes, which they call sharps or flats. Depending which direction you're going, they call one sharp and one flat. Don't worry about that. Just think black keys and I'll show you why. This is where we confuse things with music of what they were trying to teach us. So as you go up, the scale of C has no black notes. The scale of G has 1. The scale of D has 2. The scale of A has 3. The scale of E has 4. And the scale of B has 5. And then going down to the flats, same thing. 1 flat, 2 flat, or 3 black keys, 4 black keys, 5 black keys. Now on top, F sharp and G sharp is very special. You can see, F sharp and G flat. You can see that F sharp is up here and G flat down there. They meet each other. Looking at the universal key, AKA circle of 60, we will show you music fact, not theory. I just talked about the 120 bass accordion. So let's look at the 30-60. We're going to get more into this a little bit further down, but I just wanted to show you. So if you start wrapping around the 12 notes and continue all the way around, you get 5 times 12. So you get 5 octaves. 5 octaves top, 5 octaves below. You get your 10 octaves of integrating light that Walter Russell puts out. All right, because there's got one going one way, one going the other. That's important. This is something that I learned, and I'm going to give credit to the people that I learned from in another slide. So you can see C, G. So look at C, G, D, A, B. So they set up the accordion in the circle of fifths. C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp. Going this way, C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. Okay, and this one on the bottom is special. That's where they meet. And same with here on the top. Didn't know where to put these. There's so many different opinions out there, but nobody actually said, put it here. If it's a dendra, if it's a circle of 60, and the circle of fifths all come together now. This is music fact. The C is at the top. It's got 7 white keys, is the 7077. Get it? The A, the key of A, the scale of A lines up with Aries. So I'm sure there's much more to it, but I'm just leaving it at that. And this special one down at the bottom here. So I'll just leave it at that. I'm just trying to point out to you that things wrap around the circle of 60. So the 7 is at the top, which is the soul, S-O-L, the sun, 7 colors of the rainbow, as above. And then the bottom. Look at the universal key. Can you picture wrapping 5 octaves above and below? I just talked about that. So in other words, there's 5 up, 5 down. 5 black keys, 7 white keys, 12 keys total. There's so much more. Example on major triad. So for the music people, when you start showing, the patterns are all there for making all the different chords. So this is the root of where do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do came from. It's written in Ut Quaint Laxus, or Hymnus in Lonamem, is a Latin hymn in honor of John the Baptist. Ooh, going into the Age of Aquarius. Pretty cool, eh? Written in Horatian's Sapphics by Guido of Arezzo in 1991 to 1033. Here's a translation, one of the translations. I found a couple. Do let our voices resonate most purely, miracles telling, far greater than many. So let our tongues be lavish in your praises, Saint Johannes the Baptist, which I and J are interchangeable, right? They're both got the dot. Here's another one. So that your servants may, with loosened voices, resound the wonders of your deeds. Clean the guilt from our stained lips, O Saint John. So you can see they're talking about the 7 plagues before we go into Age of Aquarius, the 7 scorpions of Isis. So they wrote this ditty so you can remember to come back to this, to find the secrets of the 7 plagues, the 7 scorpions of Isis, these seven beautiful vibrations, along with these 5. Healing is going to come out of this. I sense it, I feel it, I know it, and it's going to be based on each individual's natal chart. Here's the frequency you need to tune into, play this, and you will dampen. But the thing is, you can't, like, remember you said the placebo effect. It doesn't come in unless you know that it will. So when you know that this will work, it will work. It will dampen those vibrations if you do it with love. So I'm just going to jump over to the alpha beta. So if you remember the G, A, right there, the A is still there. B, C, D, E, F, G is at the top. The 7th letter. What's the 7th? 707077. G is the 7th. So let's go back. But G and C don't line up. Well, yeah, well, they kind of do. Watch. Because G, the 5th, is soul. So everybody's using their own version, their own babble, their own whatever to try to get us to remember how to go back to the root of music. It gets more beautiful. So I just did the math here. If people want to look at it, you can stop it and you can look at it. But this is how you come up with, you take any frequency, right? I started with 432 at the A, roughly. And then whatever your base fixture, say C is 256, you can start from A and go this way or that way. It really doesn't matter. It's just take your number times 2 to the power of 0 over 12, 1 over 12. It's a power of, okay? And then that you put that math in and you can see 256, double that is 512. So that's the math behind it. So a doubling of frequency I just showed you. So there's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then you go, the chromatic scale goes C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. And then there's a gap. There's no black. This gap is important. Nobody talks about the gap. F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Okay, they're just labeling so you can remember. We don't have to get into all these chord progressions and everything else. Just remember 7 and 5. And I got a video where I'm playing it on the piano that I share, and I'll have some more discussion in there. But these gaps are important. I had this beautiful woman that is an Egyptologist, and I said, have you ever seen the circle of fifths on the Egyptian walls? She said, no, but I Googled it and this one came up, and I've Googled that a million times and it didn't, right? So she gave me a key. And it was from this guy, and I read his whole thing, and he's got books. So there's some free reading ones you can go. So I went on there and there was nothing good there. So I was not going to buy his book. And I said, no, wait a minute. This lady has given you a key. You got to buy the book. So I spent $10. I went through the whole book. What was most important was on the first page, because he gave 20 of the 100 and something pages, was this image. And this is the entrance to the Dendra Zodiac at the Hathor temple. They got the keyboard there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoops, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. These are not columns. And they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black keys. They're going to go, well, wait a minute. What's these black ones? Well, look how long they are. That's the gap in between. We're going to get into this more, okay? So there's another gap over here. It's a really short one. But look at this one. Does that look like it's almost double the other one?
Mm-hmm.
So this is research, but this is beauty. They're showing you, they're inviting you, and Spirit's giving these gifts to us. We got to know when to look at gift horse in the mouth, right? Okay, so I got this little video that I made on just playing the 7 notes. Okay, so let me know if you're able to see this.
Okay, so we're going to show you on the piano what an octave is in music. That's a C, and then there's a C. It's an octave. And then we're going to go by the 7 white keys, in other words, the 7 colors of the rainbow. There's a 7. Of course, it sounds like it's not finished, right? And it's like, oh, it's like you're stuck between a rebirth, ready to get a rebirth. It's doubling of sound. So that's a 7. Now the chromatic scale means these are all, there's 12 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a chromatic scale, playing every note. Every note is a half step. There's a full step, half step. So learning music, it's very important that you understand this 7. Don't get hung up on sharps and flats and chords and all that, because really what you're doing is you're shifting this to, let's say, this, and move that down here. You'd have to reprogram the piano so that you would have a different thing. So that doesn't, we can do it, but it doesn't exist. So now we're going to play the key of G. Ready? So we're going to go 7 white notes. Of course, we want to let it finish so you can hear that. Something's wrong. It's because we're not playing it properly. It's got to be 1 black key. All right? That's why it's, you see 1 sharp, 2 sharps, 3 sharps, 4 sharps, because then it goes key of D. 2 sharps. So that's great for writing music, but at the end of the day, harmonics and sub-harmonics, the Russian dolls is 12 within 12, as long as there's always 12. And of course the 5 and the 7 and the lines and the splits. So you can see, we'll go back to the key of C. So where do these lines show up? Where is it where there is no sharp or flat? We go 2, 2, 1, and there it is. And then 2, 2, 2, 1, and there it is. So you got to go 2, 2, 1. So there's 2 whole steps, half step. 1, 2, 3 whole steps, half step. So there's 2 and 3. So there's that 2 and 3 ratio. The 5, 2, and the 3. Isis, Osiris, whatever they want to call the Babel words for that. So the same thing happens in no matter what key. So for the key of G, you're going to go up 2 steps. 1, and there it is. It's already lined up for you. It's still there, that line, that absence of black, the no thing. And then you got to go a whole tone still. See, you got to go up 2. So there's your half tone right there to make it to the end, like in the C scale. Hope this is making sense to you. Anyway, the whole thing is that every key should look in reality like this, but in order to play, you have to write and shift where everything looks. But every key is made up of 7 white, 5 black, because there is that spot where you need these two lines. So just look at a keyboard. Look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Your 5 and 7 to give you that 12. So the ancients used to just play this as a chord. They call it a power chord today, and then they add all kinds of stuff to it. This is important. These are on the cusps. These are on the 5s and the 0s. And within that is a subharmonic. So in reality, we should be able to go 12 there and tune into that vibration that's in your chart. That's what we're looking at, and that's for a future video. Hope this helps. Again, then mainstream will add more chords in there. That's the C major chord, C minor chord. Okay, the C 7th, C minor 7th, C diminished. Hope I'm getting this all right in there. I think I have them in memory, correct? But that's all fine and dandy. But what we want to do is tune into your chart based on the zodiac, based on the circle of fifths. So remember C and G, G and D, DNA and so on. Doesn't that sound beautiful? You're learning some music fact, not theory.
So you just remember that that split is after 5 and this split is after 7. So the 5 and the 7, the 12, okay? So everything works in this way. So this is research. You guys are part of something that is being rediscovered, and you're going to learn music fact and not the, oh my God, pull your hair out music theory. Because again, in reality, we should shift the pitch so that this is G and you only have to play a regular C chord. You only have to learn one key scale and to just shift the pitch. They're leaving the pitch and then they're changing the keyboard so that you have to learn so much more. That's what makes it difficult and boring, eh, Carlos?
No, not at all.
So harmonic order, the etymology, right?
Hey guys, I just wanted to cut in right there because I'm really glad the universe kind of pushed me to come over here because, like, honestly, that explains more about music for me than I learned my entire time. I used to produce music. Like, I never really did it by notes. I would just do it by sound, you know, and I was not very good at like writing music or doing anything like that because I never understood it. It would always be like a number wall. So it's like, just to understand that it's like 7, 5, 12 and the circle of fifths and all that. That's so interesting. It like shows that to me, like, oh, that's what that was that whole time, you know? Wow.
Thanks. Thanks, Sammy. I got another video here and watch how beautiful it is. You can start playing with the circle of fifths and make music.
Wow.
Just by your ear. Just by your ear. I won't do that here, but I'm just going to show you the sounds of it.
Wow, cool.
Okay, so we're going to continue on. Thank you, Sammy. Plutarch stated the importance of the fifth for the Egyptians in his Moralia, Volume 5. And penta, the all, is a derivative of pente, 5. And they, the Egyptians, speak of counting as numbers by 5. The significance and function of number 5 in ancient Egypt is indicated by the manner in which it was written. The number 5 in ancient Egypt was written as 2 above 3. There's your 3 and your 2. He's got 2 above 3, and then it shows on the Egyptian walls 3 over 2, whatever. Or sometimes as a 5-pointed star. I crossed that part out there because I don't know if it was truth or not. So if this is a guitar string, and then you hit it, boom. If you split it exactly in half, you're gonna get the boom. You're gonna get the C there and then the C there, right? That's your octave. And then they show you when you go 2/3 of a length, you get the fifth. The fifth, the soul. So I just wanted to point that out. And again, the G is the fifth, which aligns up on the alpha beta at the 7077. The sun materialism is white. You have 7 colors of the rainbow. So they put the G there and made that the soul. Why is the glyph of the G that? I'm not sure, but it'll come to us. I mean, I do see a circle, and then I see that. So, and I got that from this portion here of that Egyptian Wisdom Center, the same guy that wrote the book that had this sitting in it. Just so beautiful. I didn't read this text. The text of the beautiful hymn of the 7 Hathors. That's interesting, Hathor. In the Temple of Dendra shows the intimate relationship between music and the cosmos. So now I got to go look on those walls now, Carlos, and see what I see. Because there's going to be music in there if they got this at the entrance. So, and this was from his book, The Enduring Ancient Egyptian Musical System, Theory and Practice, Expanded 2nd edition by Mustafa Gadala. Thank you, brother. So just really quick, I'm not going to go into detail on this. This is Pythagorean tuning. And as you can see, he's got circles, spheres. He shows terra, aqua, air, ignis. And then he goes C, moon, D. So it's almost like he's putting these on the black notes, but it doesn't quite fit because there's 6. So I'm not sure what he's doing, but he's got G next to the sun, right in the middle. Everything revolves around the sun, but that's you, the sun, not the physical sun out there. They don't revolve around them. Mercury and Venus do, but not the rest. And the sun rotates around you. So that's another misinterpretation of what they seen here. So they ran with this and, oh, look at it, everything runs around the sun. Okay, so this is just for your reference for people that want to look at it. It's just there as an image. It's in the book as well. Quickly, I'll just show you that. See the star points to C, 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 of course, because that's 5 octaves. That's not magic because we took the 12 and it just went around, right? So we just did it. C, B, E, A, whatever. C, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, and just kept going and just keep going, and you get 5 octaves. These little numbers that you see here counting up to 7 and coming back down. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's 13. It's important, that 13. So that was from, I'm going to get into that now. This sax player here, John Coltrane, this is his job. He was one of us researching for truth, and he was a musician. He was a good sax player, and he used a circle of fifths. Everybody loved his saxophone because he was knowing what vibrates with you, what makes you feel good. Just giving credit where credit is due. And I got to learn for that sax player from John Coltrane, and he's the one that showed me the circle of 60. He got it from a guy by the name of Brian Payne. Not sure where. I tried finding that guy to see where he got it from, to see if there's something in the Egyptian walls or something, right? But you can see he's got the John Coltrane. We tweaked that a little bit. We put the 1011 over here at the Phoenix Rising position. He had it at the top. We tweak it, right? We're all one. We can't do it by ourselves. Again, this is just for reference, a cleaner drawing of it, showing the zodiac, Phoenix rising, the alpha at the arise. So what's a definition of mass? The mass, a form of sacred music. Sorry, the mass, a form of sacred musical composition. That's what mass means. When we go to mass, we're going to mass at the church, is a choral composition that sets the invariable portions of the Eucharistic liturgy to music. Musical masses take their name from the Catholic liturgy called the Mass. The controversial Mass Missa Scala Aretina, 1702, by Francesco Valls, takes its name from Guido's hexachord. So they were doing things to help heal you. All those churches were built by truthers trying to do mass, giving you beautiful vibrations, those organs, the architecture was all designed to vibrate you to help. Okay, so playing the fifths. So I got a little video here on playing the fifths, and then we're done.
Okay, so here I am on the piano, and we're going to take the circle of fifths, the perfect fifths, and wherever there is a cusp of the zodiac, we're going to go counterclockwise, and then we're going to go clockwise, and watch how many octaves it takes to do each one. So we're starting with the A at the alpha. So we're going to go with A and E and B, B and F sharp, F sharp, D flat, D flat, A flat, A flat, E flat, E flat, B flat, B flat, F, F and C, C and G, G and D, and last but not least, D and A. So you can see it went through 7 octaves when you go counterclockwise. Now we're going to go clockwise, starting from A and D. A and D, D and G, G and C, C and F, F and B flat, B flat, E flat, E flat, A flat, A flat, D flat, D flat, F sharp, F sharp and B, B and E, and then E and A. That only took 5 octaves. That's because there's 60 when you go that way. And when you play them the opposite way, this is how it all ties in together, 5, 7, and 12.
So did one sound better to you than the other? Yeah, right? The one going through the 7 octaves sounded better to us than the 5. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but what the meaning is, because one's going one way, one's going the other. So, oh, by the way, and I tuned my piano to 432 hertz. So if you look at the word mass, you got the M, which is the point in the middle, which represents the mother, the A, the alpha, the U, a phoenix rising, and then 2 sine waves, 2 S's, vibrations, music. That's what mass means. We're going to mass. What does that mean? Oh, did you go to the church? You go to the church and you know, so they're the definition of mass. What they just, because, well, that's what we do, but those are breadcrumbs to get us to go. But it all fell down the wayside because we made it materialism, right? Instead of what is really meant.